Hello everyone, my name's Mark Walmsley and I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network. We're a global community of over 142,000 arts and culture professionals now, one of which is Mark Noble. Mark has joined me today. He's one of our full members and we're member funded entirely. So thank you so much, Mark, for joining me today and for being one of our full members.
Thank you for the introduction.
So now I've heard you described as a painter of light. I've
Yes.
heard you described as a turner for the 21st century, which is great. I love your work. I've been on the website several times. But would you like to just say hello to everyone? Tell us where you live and the kind of work you do, the medium that you work in, and tell us a little bit more about the recent success of your lampshades.
Well, I'm from Somerset, originally from Hampshire. That comes as part of the story a bit later on. Yeah, I'm an artist based in Somerset. I live near the famous Glastonbury Tor and the Michael Weaver's Pelton Fossil. Somerset is really a beautiful county, and the landscapes change from day to day and things like that. And at the moment, I'm working with you and other different organisations. And I'm sort of like street is a sort of a marketplace. But originally, I was from Hampshire, and the reason why I got the painting, I knew an artist called Turner, but my dad was in the Marines, and we had a flat near Portsmouth. And storms used to come up and shake the whole place. So hence I got the Weller and then Turner. I think I went to Oxford when I was studying at college and saw his paintings and fell in love. And that's sort of been my Edwin Church and other artists, Monet, these artists who could catch almost eternal quality or ethereal or even religious tone of painting in these wonderful paintings. And I'm building up my process. Someone from in 2011, someone from India said, "You're turn of the 21st century." So that is the reason why I got the name. I thought, well, I'm going to keep this. This is quite a compliment. I'm still trying to find the guide today. And going on to the next subject with lampshades. I do some work for charities. I do work for a charity in Glastonbury. This lady came up to me, gave me a lampshade. And I thought, she said, do something with it. And so I took it home. Took it home and I thought about it. Then I realised I started painting on the material, and oh, that's Cameron.
Okay, we'll ask him to join us at 3.
All right. Oh, sorry about that. Cameron. Hello, I'm talking to Mark at the moment. We're doing an interview. Are you be ready? Are you be ready for 3 o'clock? I'm doing the interview with Mark now. I'll see you about 3 o'clock. Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Is
Right,
he
come
going to
then.
join us at 3? That would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah, excellent. Now, what I'd love to do now
Sorry about.
is have a look at some of your work, and especially the
Okay.
landscapes and the seascapes. I think are just beautiful. So I'm going to share my screen.
Yeah.
I might disappear from you for a moment, but our viewers will be able to see my screen. So this is your website at marknoble.art,
Yeah.
which is great. And we're going to have a look at the categories. So where would you like to go first?
I think the tonal greys. That's
The
one of my tonal
tonal
greys. Yeah.
greys.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now these are beautiful. I'm going to make them a bit bigger. Yeah, I mean, look at that. You can almost feel the weather from that.
Yeah.
I love the symmetry of it as well. That's
It,
fantastic.
I think it's working with color is different from working in tonal grey. I think tonal grey you get more feeling, more emotion, more calling moments than color.
Yes,
Colors have more of a
and
different
let's
feeling.
have a. So that's the tonal greys. I love the driftwood pictures as well.
Yeah.
This is on your homepage. This is a particular favorite of mine. I love that. Um, it's it's it doesn't get much more environmentally friendly than that, does it? Because you're using driftwood for the arts. I'm going to go back to your homepage because there's an example of some of your lampshades. I can't
Yeah,
wait to see what they look like with lights in them. It'll be
yeah,
fantastic.
that's gonna be really, really interesting.
Yeah, and you've had a Queen's Award as an
Yes.
outside-in ambassador. And there's some more of the
Yeah, that's
driftwood. Yeah,
that's for a charity in Cornwall to stop dumping sewage into the waters.
right. So here's an example of one of your beautiful lampshades.
Yeah, that
And these can be ordered from your website, can't they?
yes, it's all up and running and just yeah, it's up yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Is that the tour?
Oh yes, that's the world. Well, it is famous. It's steeped in legend and history.
And is that Glastonbury tour?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
fantastic.
On
Wonderful.
a hot sunny July.
Yes. And then, so this is a kind of snapshot. You do love a boat, don't you? I
Yeah,
just,
I don't know why. My dad was in the services and he served on Ark Royal, and maybe, it's the feeling of eternity, the feeling of being one with the natural world. I think on a boat, on a calm
yeah,
day.
yeah. Well, no, these are all great. So if you're watching and you'd like to, I love the solitude of that one.
Yeah, it's
That's beautiful.
just it's you and the boat. As it all there, as the idea is a spiritual moment or a moment with the divine. It's what you want to choose. I think
Yeah, I
it's what
love
you
that.
want to choose.
And
Yeah.
they're some of these are available as prints, aren't they?
Cameron's got all that. Yeah, that's. I think I do believe that's already been done.
Right.
So
Okay. No, they're fun. I love it. Excellent. Right. So there's Mark's work at marknoble.art if you'd like to have a look. Now, Mark, we're going to have some fun now.
right,
We're going to
okay.
play a game. I found this a lovely way to get to know people. So I'm going to create a fantasy fictional cultural year for you.
Right.
And I'm going to do, and I'm the magician here, so I can arrange anything for you. So
Like that.
the first thing I need to do is to place you somewhere in the world, and I'd like to do that by asking you, what's your favorite building?
Oh crumbs. Westminster Abbey.
Okay, I want you to imagine that you're sitting at a pavement cafe within sight of Westminster Abbey in London.
Yeah.
It's sunny, and you're sitting under a parasol, and to the right of you is a book. Now, it could be your favorite book, it could be a recent discovery, or it could be a book that's been with you all your life. What book would you like sitting on that table next to you?
I think it'd be the Life of Turner. I think it'd be one of the books I bet based on Turner's life and his creative genius and
Yeah,
what he did to the world. That would be.
you can have that, and it'll have all his works in it as well. There was a very good TV docudrama about him I saw. Have you seen that?
Was that No, it wasn't Timothy Spalding. There was a one on Channel 4. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I've seen it. Yeah,
it was good.
very very unusual way of portraying the guy, the man.
Yeah. And he was from very humble beginnings, wasn't he?
He was his dad was a barber,
I remember.
and he Turner would draw in his studios.
Mm.
So and then yeah.
Now, on the table next to you is a drink. Now it's 6 p.m. It's sunny. It's June. What drink would you like on in the cafe there?
Um, Cold Coke.
A cold
Coke.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Coke. Okay. So there you are. Now you're you're feeling quite pleased and excited because you've just come from a meeting in Westminster Abbey with a wealthy London family foundation who would
Yeah.
like to pay you to study Turner-esque landscape painting somewhere else in the world. It's a year-long trip. You'll
Yeah.
get a TV show out of it and a book deal. And it's all fictional, I'm afraid. But it's very well paid, first class all the way, and lots of help when you get there. All you need to do is to decide where you would like to go and study landscape and seascape painting?
I think that would be Vienna. No, sorry, Venice. I think it's where
Venice.
he Venice
Wow.
because of of the canals, the waterways. 'Cause
Yeah.
Turner and Byron went there. Two of
Yeah.
England's most favourite creative geniuses.
Fantastic. Right. You're on the plane. Okay. Where's you're on the plane. Where's the nearest airport to you in Somerset?
Bristol
Bristol. So
Airport.
you're flying from Bristol to Venice. You turned left when you got on the plane because you're traveling first class. The steward comes to you with a nice cold glass of Coke and a note from the Wealthy Family Foundation back in London. They would like to experiment on you a little during this trip as well. So they want you to limit your musical listening to one very specific genre or type of music for 12 months to the exclusion of all else. So what kind of music would you listen to in those circumstances?
I think it would have to be classical, like Beethoven, something classical, like the Four Seasons, and yeah, the classical Beethoven and music like
Yeah.
that. That would fit the genre which they're looking for.
Yes, I might throw in Sea Pictures by Benjamin Britten as well.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. And that's the music that comes to my ears when I look at your work. So,
did he do lot? Did he do lot? Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's right. That's
wonderful.
4 million.
I'm a musician, as you know. I've played it
Yes.
many
Yeah.
times. So excellent. Okay. So you arrive in Venice and having listened to lots of Beethoven on the plane, and a group of young people who are studying art have been asked to greet you, and they're there at the airport. They whisk you into a limo and into the center of Venice, where they drop you off at the most amazing apartment, which is literally on the canal, with a boat that you have at your disposal and a gondola should you wish. And they say, settle in, unpack, relax. We're going to come back later and take you to a dance performance and then out to dinner. Okay. This sounds fun so far, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now you can choose which dance form you watch. You can have any dancer, any dancers, living or not, any dance style and any dance group. So what form of dance would you enjoy watching for a couple of hours?
Oh, the waltz, things like that. The waltz, like waltzing Matilda, and things, probably things like that.
Okay, so we'll give you it'll be a show in a theatre in Venice with the most amazing waltz performers, rather like they do on the 1st of January from Vienna.
Oh, yeah,
So,
I like that.
yeah, excellent. Now, the show's finished and your new friends have said we're going to take you out to dinner. You can have any national cuisine you like. So what nation's cuisine do you...
That would be Japanese food.
Japanese. Okay, there's an excellent Michelin-starred Japanese restaurant in Venice, so we'll go there. Excellent. Now, the next day in Venice is Sport Day, all over Italy, and you have the chance to go and watch a sporting event. What would you like to go and watch?
Oh, crumbs. Tennis.
Tennis. Okay. I don't know if there is an Italian Open, but there is in our world. So
Yes,
you can go to a tennis match. Excellent. Now, this one is interesting. There is a new gallery in Venice, and it's
yeah.
digitally enhanced. So you can put on some virtual reality glasses, and you can step into the work of a famous artist and walk around. I think I might know the answer to this. Whose work would you like to step into in that way?
It would be, obviously it would be Turner for the what he's done to Turner would be the one I would be like. Yeah, I like that one.
He did a lovely picture of a train, didn't he? An early steam
Oh
train.
yeah, wind, steam, and rain. I think. And he put
Yeah.
his head out the window. I think.
Well, I think we'll put you on that train and it'll be going at 30 miles an hour through the picture. There we go. So J.M. Turner for your immersive experience. Excellent. Now I'm going to fly down to Venice to spend the week with you. okay, in this, as you get yourself settled. On Monday, we're going to a pop or rock concert. On Tuesday, we're going to a play. On Wednesday, we're going to a Broadway or West End musical. On Thursday, we're going to the opera. And on Friday, we're going to the cinema. Okay. Now, I can suggest things in those genres if you wish, but I'd like to know what you would want to go to and see, because we can arrange anything in Venice for you. So what pop or rock concert would you like to, who would you like to see in that genre?
Probably Freddie Mercury.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll go and see Queen with Freddie
yeah,
Mercury.
yeah. Brilliant soloist, brilliant actor.
Yeah, fantastic. What about a play, a theatre play?
Right. Um, Swan Lake would be mine. That's quite moving.
Yeah, that works because that's a ballet as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. A Russian conductor.
And what about, do you have any favorite West End musicals?
Cats, I think.
Cats, wonderful, excellent. The movie they made got slated, didn't it? But
It
the show was
it
great.
it did. Yes, it did. It got terrible slating.
Yeah, it was really a shame. I think I never saw it as a result of that, so I can't comment.
No.
I perhaps should. What about an opera? Would you like to go and see an opera?
Right. Yeah.
Which one in particular would you like, or would you like me to recommend one?
I think I'm not very good on opera. I think I'll have you tell me what you think.
Okay, my favorite opera is Tosca by Puccini.
Yeah.
So if you can find it on online, then you'll enjoy that. Excellent. And then Friday evening is a big cinema, all to ourselves, big screen, great sound. What movie would you like to watch?
That would be a Star Trek movie.
A Star Trek movie. There are
Yeah.
several of them, aren't there?
I think the what I would like to do is the Voyage Home. That's a hopeful, good, strong story. The Voyage
Okay.
Home.
I might have to watch some of those, I think. I tend to work late at night watching movies and doing work, and
Mm.
that's a great, I'm going to make a note of that. Star Trek Voyage Home. Are you a bit of a Trekkie? Is it Trekkies or Trekkers?
Tricky. Oh, not sure. Yeah, a bit. Yeah, a bit of a
Yeah.
sci-fi buff.
I thought it was absolutely staple viewing when I was a child.
Yeah, I think
Loved it.
everyone was.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, now we're nearly there. The
Yeah.
next day is Hero Day. I think I might know where this is going as well. But you can invite anybody you like, living or not, to join you for lunch in Venice in St. Mark's Square. Who would you want to have a nice leisurely tour?
An artist called called Edwin Church and Newton, the famous scientist who discovered gravity.
Okay, Edwin Church. Now that's not a particularly familiar name to me,
Yeah,
so I'm going to find one.
he's
Edwin Church.
famous American artist on the River Hudson in New York State. Painted huge
Here we
landscape.
go. I'm going to share so that our viewers can see.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's
I've done that painting there.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, he's slightly different from Turner, but still the same as
Yeah,
mystical landscapes.
yeah. So that's Edwin Church. Let's find some Turner.
Mm.
Where's the train? Is that the train?
That's
Yes,
yeah, that's the one.
that's the
Yeah,
train. Um, they are just luminous, aren't they?
yeah, they
It's
are.
incredible. Some, interestingly, are more detailed than others, which is interesting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be in that boat. Thank you very much. But
no,
there we go. Excellent. Okay, so we've seen some Edwin Church and some Turner. And you've had lunch with Turner and Newton.
yeah, that sounds yeah.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. Now you're on your way home,
Yeah,
and you're in first class you've done your year, you've filmed the TV show about landscape art in Italy and in Venice in particular. You've got a book deal that's been confirmed, and you're on your way home, and the limit to what you can listen to in music has been lifted. So you can now listen to something other than classical music and Beethoven. Having not listened to it for 12 months, what's the first piece of music you'd want to listen to that's not classical?
I think that'd be Enya and Sail Away, Sail Away.
Nice. And Orinoco Flow is another one I love.
The one that's her #1 hit she had.
Yeah, and she did a wonderful song for the Lord of the Rings film, didn't she?
She did, yes, she did.
Into the West, I think it was called.
I do believe that is right, yeah.
Yeah, and they used it at the end of the third movie after Bilbo set sail with Gandalf into the West. Love it.
That's it, yeah.
Excellent. You're back home, and that's your fantasy cultural year, Mark. I hope you've enjoyed it.
It's been fantastic. It's a fantastic journey through what I love and enjoy, and hopefully everyone can be inspired by it.
Yes, and well, I'm very much hoping that our viewers and listeners will click through to marknoble.art, browse through some of your beautiful paintings, order prints, snap up one of the lampshades because they're going to be collector's items, I'm sure. And thanks again, Mark, for being one of our full members. Wherever this appears, there'll be examples of your work, and some biographical information about you. So don't disappear on me, but for the time being, Mark Noble, thank you very much for sharing your fantasy cultural year.
And thank you for the time, and thank you for such a professional interview, which gives me strong heart, and I mean capable hands.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Right. Okay, I'll catch you soon.